I like the idea of having guests.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we're just getting started, but we can
Especially
grow
if we
and
ever
build.
decide to do like a sister podcast about murder.
Murder.
It was a quiet night on a foggy road. Tessa Jean was walking alone when a strange man who looked like a penis approached her. He said he wanted to show her his banana, but she knew he was only packing a baby carrot. She kicked him in the jimmy and got the hell out of there. As she ran away, the man cried like the wiener he is. This has nothing to do with 6 degrees of film degrees. I just wanted to make fun of the penis-looking man. She got you good, you son of a bitch.
All right, everybody, welcome to 6 Degrees of Film Degrees. We are going to get a little bit true crime-ish.
Yes.
Unsolved true crime-ish.
Yes, in
Yes.
fact, so very fitting with the intro. But yes, so today we're going to be covering 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri. Film came out in 2017, right?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. But I know everybody, if you're like Ben and myself, I think we heard about it more in 2018 because of all the goddamn awards that it received in 2018.
It was nonstop. But that's my thing about, like, I avoided the movie like the plague, because usually when there's just some random movie that's winning all these awards, it's a big stinker.
Yeah.
I wanted nothing to fucking do with it. But then I saw it on HBO, like 2019 or something like that. And I was like, oh my God, this is actually really good. And then I found out it was a Martin McDonagh movie. And I'm like, that's why I like it. That makes sense.
And if you're me, this is the first time I've seen it. Never heard of it.
And that's part of what this podcast is about. We learn something new. You learn something new.
Yeah. My name is Eric Holmes, and I have Benny J here with me as well.
Oh, right. Yeah. I should introduce you, huh? So, Ben Gaddafi. Benny boy. Benny
Hi.
J. Benny. Daddy Longlegs.
Jesus Christ.
No, that's just at home. And Eric.
Climb into bed, Daddy Longlegs.
It's a joke. Because he's so lanky. And we also have Sir Eric Holmes sitting across from me here.
He was knighted.
Once.
Can you be knighted twice?
I was just going to ask that question.
There's multiple sovereign countries.
I'm
This
sure
is
they can knight me all they
Excellent
want.
point.
I'm sure Bono did it.
This
the
one
fucking
happened.
one-upper.
This
my
one
God.
happened in your dirt basement, though.
It was a DIY knighting.
Well, anyway, 3 billboards.
Okay, yes. So we'll actually dive in here. We won't keep you too long.
All right, so 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri is a crime drama starring Frances McDormand, Woody Harrelson, Sam Rockwell, Peter Dinklage, and directed by Martin McDonagh.
Yes.
Their budget was roughly 12 to 15 million, making 54 million domestically, totaling 160 million worldwide.
That ratio is insane.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He's big in Britain because he's a Brit.
Yes. But just thinking about that's how much they spent on making this movie. That's really,
If you think about it, there isn't a whole lot to it.
yeah, it's the cast.
It is the cast. Like I'd say, like 10 million was cast.
And he's already worked with Sam Rockwell and Woody Harrelson in, I don't think you guys have seen it, 7 Psychopaths.
No.
Nope.
It's got my favorite actor in it, Harry Dean Stanton.
Oh boy. Oh. That might be coming down the pipeline here, folks.
Oh, God.
Stay tuned.
My pipeline.
I was looking at, a buddy of mine and I were looking at his resume, and we were comparing it to John Wayne's. He beat John Wayne with more movies.
Suck it.
Wow.
Right. But the man is, like, I guarantee if I showed you who he was, you'd be like, oh, that guy. Yeah.
Right.
One of those actors that's in everything.
Yep. He's even in an Avengers.
Really?
Yeah. You were green when you fell.
Well, even like the
Really?
even like
Yeah.
the actor in this movie with the,
Oh.
with the crazy name
Oh, right. Yes.
The guy,
Željko Ivanek.
that you see in almost everything.
right. I honestly think
Željko Ivanek.
is a fantastic actor, but he does play
Absolutely.
play every character the same.
Right. Well, because what was it? He was on like a half season of True Blood. If you watch the show.
Okay.
What's his name again?
Željko Ivanek.
Yeah. I mean, he basically just played himself, but he's like, I'm a vampire.
Yeah.
I dig
but
it.
never seen him be a vampire. He was just like, I'm a vampire. And you listen to me.
Yeah, obviously, we're having a hard time remembering how to correctly pronounce.
Or
the
we don't
man's
want to
name.
offend anyone.
His name is Cedric in the film.
Also known as.
Željko Ivanek.
There we go. So we're doing it justice. We're trying to cover all our bases because we know that
Željko Ivanek.
would appreciate it.
I'm so glad I programmed that button.
That was great. We're learning. Okay.
We love you.
Željko Ivanek.
So, speaking of cast, I just wanted to run through the list of actors, actresses that I had just to make sure that everybody knows who the hell is in this movie, because that is where probably most of the money went.
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
cast, we've got the lovely Frances McDormand. I'm a huge fan. Woody Harrelson, Sam Rockwell, Clark Peters, Abby Cornish, Peter Dinklage, Carrie Condon, John Hawkes, Lucas Hedges, and the list goes on and on.
I have to make a correction. That name is actually Carrie, thirsty for that Jet Li D.
Oh my God.
Condon.
Okay, so last night, you guys told me she was in this movie, or throughout the weeks or whatever, and that's how we were connected to this from Unleashed. And then last night I went up to Ben and I was like, so who does she play in this? I was like, I trust you that she's there. But I was just like, I did not point her out. I was like, I'm sure she's there. I trust you.
She's a supporting character.
Right.
She is.
But she also plays another thirsty chick. So
She gets punched in the face.
That's true.
By Sam Rockwell.
Do you got to respect that? Sam Rockwell.
Oh
If Sam
my
Rockwell
God.
punches you in the face.
Right?
Right to the
Yeah.
schnoz, man. That was brutal. Okay, so before I get into the synopsis of the film, I just wanted to go over why I chose 3 Billboards as my pick. Obviously, we just talked about how Carrie Condon is the link between the last film that we did, the last episode, which was Unleashed, and that's Carrie Condon in that with Jet Li.
Thirsty for that Jet Li D. Condon.
He's never going to let
With
it
them
go.
braces.
The braces were, it was a choice. But we're
With
moving
undertones of pedophilia.
into
Dude,
3
totally.
Billboards. We're moving past the pedophilia for the day. So,
We're moving on
why
to a
did
different
I
topic.
choose this film? I have a love of true crime. I think that's putting it mildly. You might call it an obsession. So yeah, I'm one of those girls nowadays. True crime all the time. But shout out to Morbid Podcast. Ash and Elena, I love you.
That's one of the few that I actually like, too.
I love
like, out of...
those ladies.
Like, the one that Samantha listens to, that guy that's just like, oh my God, and then he got stabbed. I'm like, fucking turn it off. What is
That's
going
how
on?
I feel about, no offense to the famous My Favorite Murder, but I can't listen to you gals anymore.
Sorry, ladies.
It's too much for me.
So yes, I love true crime, and 3 Billboards definitely brings that to light. I also think that this film brings to light the realness of crime and loss. Not so much of, the kind of shit that we see in like Netflix documentaries and on Dateline, right? We don't see things like 3 Billboards and what 3 Billboards brings to the table. It's way more personal.
Not only that, this movie touches on the hyper prejudice
Oh, big time.
of just the South.
Yeah.
And yeah, it gets
Missouri.
Missouri.
Good old Missouri.
Yeah, so I think much of what we miss when we're watching the true crime documentaries and Dateline, not that, Keith Morrison, I love you. Dateline, I will never say goodbye. But
God, there's
It's
so
a-
many shout outs today.
it's a
Right.
different, it's true crime.
Hail Satan.
This is my shit.
Hail Santa.
So
Praise Jesus.
Kill Judas.
I like that it brings the realness to the front. I also have a great respect and admiration for Frances McDormand. I think she's fabulous, and she's been fabulous for decades. And, the incredible cast and awards.
Well, and Carrie Condon's a fox in this. I know she's
Dude,
barely in it,
She
but she's a
is.
good-looking woman.
And she
Yeah.
looks so young. I
Still,
know her
Younger than her character in Unleashed.
I know. Throw some braces on there, she'd look 12. Oh, my God.
Carrie Condon has not aged at all. She
Now I'm
looks
fidgeting.
fantastic. So, anyways, that's just touching on brief points why I chose this movie, but we'll get into more later, of course. All right, so the movie opens with Mildred Hayes, played by Frances McDormand, staring at 3 old billboards on the side of an old highway. Going to the advertising agency that owns them, she decides to rent them from Red, who nervously accepts. On Easter Sunday, Officer Dixon, played by Sam Rockwell, discovers the billboards and their message. First billboard states, raped while dying. The second billboard states, and still no arrests. And the third, how come, Chief Willoughby? All on giant red billboards in black text.
Yeah,
It's direct.
you have to respect her style. I feel like the she was the perfect actress for that.
Oh, I agree.
Oh,
She's
absolutely.
just like, she has that like, don't fuck with me face, and if you do me wrong, I'm gonna fuck you up.
Like, when I grow up, I know, this is tragic, and I hope that I never have to experience this kind of loss, but when I grow up, I want to be Mildred Hayes.
So you want to be my mother,
Well,
is what you're saying.
with
This is a movie about my mother.
far more swearing. Far more swearing, but kinda, yeah.
I get it though, even though I'm a new father of a year-ish now, but I get that. I already start to feel that type of shit towards my daughter now. Like, I can only imagine, like, a teenage that you raised, all your effort goes there, like your underlining effort goes towards your daughter, and that happens. I get it. I'm pretty spiteful, so like I resonated with her on this.
Yes. I too can be a bit vengeful and jaded.
I usually forget what happened like the next day.
Oh no, I remember.
Me as an older person now, yeah, I let shit go pretty easily, but like the stuff that doesn't, it really doesn't.
There's
sticks
a
with
few
you.
things that stick.
Yeah, you're
There's
just
a
like,
lot of things that roll off and like,
Right.
whatever, fuck you. You're not going to ruin my day. And then there's other things that I'm like, oh no, I'm going to be thinking about this 10 years down the road. And I'm still going to hate you. So yes, she put up those 3 billboards, bright red, black text. And then Mildred drops her very embarrassed son off at school and passes by Chief Willoughby, who is played by Woody Harrelson. Dixon and Cedric, played by...
Željko Ivanek.
That's great.
I'm going
Thank
to
you.
overplay that.
Thank you.
We just lost 2 listeners.
Oh, whatever. I'm
Bye,
sure
Mom.
There's so
Now
many
we're
people.
-2.
Like, I bet his name never gets said on podcasts because it's a little difficult.
But we got you.
Željko Ivanek.
Yeah. All right. So as they go to ask Red about the billboards, Willoughby talks to Mildred at her home about said billboards and confides in her about his battle with cancer. But Mildred will not budge. After drilling a hole in an upset dentist's thumb, she is arrested and interrogated, not for assault, but for the billboards. Willoughby ends up coughing up blood during this interrogation, bringing his cancer scare to the forefront.
The beginning of this movie, I think you have something about this, but her hair,
Oh yeah, I think it is important because it's obviously it's
radical
purposeful.
change.
It's
Yeah.
purposeful, and I think it kind of symbolizes that change.
right.
it could, because even the underside, it was very awkward, but like the underside was kind of shaved up to
Yep.
it, like
A certain
bumps-
point.
That's a lot of ladies do it nowadays.
oh really?
Yeah, the undercut, the shaved
Yeah.
undercut.
I guess I don't pay attention.
It's because
I don't watch enough porn.
From what I understand, it gets very hot back there. And then, so when they shave it off and then they put their hair up, it's easier to manage, and B,
It's true.
and B, it feels nice. I know my stepmother does it every week. She shaves the back of
Really?
her head. Yeah,
Does get hot back there.
Hey, to each their own with their hair. I mean, I look like a special needs member of the cast of Footloose, so I get it.
So I think it's something that I noticed, and I mean it is a pretty drastic change, but I think it's purposeful.
yeah. She's
then-
here for business.
So then she's walking into the advertising agency, and it's kind of a slow motion, like she's gonna fuck somebody up, and then she's just buying billboards.
Right.
I'm like, whoa, okay.
It looks so like such a walk-in. I'm like, where's the John Cena music? You know?
Right.
Dun, 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 dun. When she
God.
walks into this place, she really does look like she means business, and then she's like, hey, I want these 3 billboards.
They just can't say fuck, shit, or cunt, right?
Right. Or anus. I love Red.
It took me a second to because I recognized Red. I was like, where do I know this guy? And obviously, I could just look this shit up. But what's the fun in that? I like to play the game of how do I know this guy? He was in X-Men First Class. He played Banshee.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, I need to go back and rewatch that.
because it's the dude who like when he screams, it's like hypersonic.
Yep, I know exactly what
Yep.
character you're talking about. I just, man.
Yeah,
I knew he
it
looked
took me a
familiar.
second. I was just like, how do I know this guy? But yeah, he was played Banshee.
He does a great job in 3 billboards, I
I think
think.
he
He
plays
does.
his role well.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
But for starters, he had no idea that Billboards was. What? Where is Riverwater Road?
Yeah, you had
So
to
the
look
last day was like
in
it was
the
like
book.
1960 something or something.
Yeah, it was like last time those were rented out was 1985, and that was Huggies. But then he all of a sudden switches to cocky mode. And since what I say goes, I'm going to cut you down a really good deal. I'm like, you motherfucker.
Like,
she just ignores the deal though. She's like, all right, I'm giving you this for this, and this is how we're doing. it.
Mildred is like, no, I'm running the show.
Right. And she knows that she can't just put shit up on him, because the moment it gets attention, then the advertising agency is going to take it down. Oh, we forgot we owned those, and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Right.
So
That's what she did the contract.
She's
Yep.
doing it.
She did it in
the
writing.
right way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's doing it the right way.
in that scene, you see, like, for one, you don't know what's going on, but you immediately see a moment of compassion with her.
Yes.
Yeah.
With the bug.
She's very up and down.
Yep, she
Yep.
flips that bug over.
Right.
But
She
she's
does.
the rest of the movie, she's just like, fuck you, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I want.
Well, you can see the shades of her former self before her daughter passed.
Yes.
Because we don't know, because especially since I've only seen this movie a few times, and going into this, like, it was on the second watch. Yes, that topic exactly. I wonder how she was prior to her daughter's death. She's probably a caring,
And-
nice person.
And we'll get into that, because there's a little glimpse of when they're explaining what happens to the daughter. You get a little glimpse of her personality.
Right.
Yeah.
But before this, I mean.
Right.
But
Right. So before, basically throughout the movie, you realize that Mildred Hayes, her daughter, was walking alongside the same road that the billboards exist on, and basically she was killed and she was raped. And it's the billboard saying "raped while dying." Still no arrests. How come, Chief Willoughby? So she's basically calling out the sheriff and the Ebbing Police Department, saying it's been too long and still no arrests. Nothing has happened yet. I mean,
Dixon, goddamn asshole. I'm in the middle of my goddamn Easter dinner. Sorry, kids.
And we're actually just a week after Easter.
Yeah.
it
it's
is
fitting,
appropriate.
fitting,
Yes.
yeah.
She put up those billboards on, was it the day after Easter?
The day of. He's
The
like,
day
I'll
of.
Yeah.
have them up by Easter.
By Easter, right? And she says,
So it was-
perfect.
Yep, and it was Easter night that they were going up.
Right. So yeah, we are a week out from.
And that's the
Easter
first touch
IRL.
on the whole prejudice and all the... Because what people are out there putting up the billboards while the white folk are eating.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah,
a
the-
black
the
guy and a
movie-
Hispanic guy
Yeah.
that are putting up the billboards.
This movie
God, I
definitely...
didn't even think about that.
This
I was
movie
just
goes
thinking it was just
so deep into very detail on that topic. And
Yeah.
obviously this is not a new topic at all. It's as old as time. And this was, I mean, from what I understand from you guys, this movie got a lot of heat because of the topics.
big time. Well, here's my take on that. Like, it's a
Super
good take
needy.
on reality, and I think a lot of writers are afraid to tackle that. Like, sometimes you need to write a deplorable character. It's just
Yeah, because people are assholes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this is like Dixon, for example, racist,
Big time.
huge, and he's a big dumb dummy.
And an alcoholic.
Yeah, but it's so true to how people actually can be, and there are people 100 times worse than Dixon was.
Oh, absolutely.
But
Still are.
people freak out about characters like this. I remember, I'm not going to blast who it was, but I remember an interview with Jonah Hill. Somebody was trying to make him apologize for the line he said in Superbad.
Which one?
we could be that mistake.
Oh,
That
okay.
whole speech.
Yeah, yeah.
They're like, can't remember, but they made him apologize. He's like, yeah, I feel so bad for saying that and blah, blah. I'm like, you were playing a shitty high school kid.
Right.
Like, don't apologize for...
Especially at the time, like,
Yeah.
those jokes were all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like...
It fit the character. It doesn't mean that it was
When
great.
you're a teenager,
or a good
you're
thing.
you're only thinking about your dick. You're not thinking about, like, the fucking deep dive of the world.
No.
Unfortunately, I mean, that falls into the prejudice of life. But
Right.
it is what it is.
So yeah, I mean, Dixon he starts out being the asshole. I mean, he's just the dick of the town, and unfortunately, he's on the police force. But he is a little bit fearful of Miss Mildred Hayes and starts to
Yeah, I would be too.
stutter
Yeah.
and
I don't
stumble
blame
over
him.
his words when Mildred is around.
Yeah, I think that's hilarious because the only time he stutters is
Yeah.
because he's threatened by her.
She's intimidating.
You
Well, and
know.
it's the only person that intimidates him. Like Cedric, Mr.
Željko Ivanek.
doesn't even intimidate him.
No,
It's
not
like,
at all.
what are you, an idiot? You can't call me an idiot. I didn't call you an idiot. I asked you if you were an idiot. That was a question.
He's such a shithead.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, he does redeem himself later on, slightly.
does.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. I don't.
I respect his growth.
There you go.
In
That's
an
a good
hour
way
and
to say
50
it.
minute movie, you respect his growth.
He got on the right path
Mm-hmm.
to redemption.
Yeah, yeah.
He was so close.
It's unfortunate the circumstances that brought him to that, but sometimes that's what it takes. I suppose.
A swift kick
Right.
in the ass or a swift burning of a building.
Almost being burned alive.
Yep. Sometimes you need it.
Do you want me to do the second act now?
No.
No, we need to still. We haven't really talked about much about the first.
We brought up the stutter, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the first time you really see his stutter is when he's threatening Red in the bar. Mm-hmm. Then Mildred comes along. Don't you have to get home to your mama, Dixon?
Mama.
Mama. I told my mama.
Well,
I'd
and
be
the whole
home
reason
at-
he was there even drinking was because his mom got pissed at him about the news interview.
That's right.
Yeah,
He was mad.
Yeah,
he was
he was
angry
already.
drinking.
The subject was already like. I love Sam Rockwell in this movie. He's the like I like him.
This and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are the best roles he's ever done.
Oh God, regular or menthol.
Right.
Yeah, he was excellent. He played Dixon to a T.
The making fun of Peter Dinklage,
Yeah,
world famous Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
Which-
He's such a dick to him.
this, and I you have to give some respect to Sam Rockwell for basically putting himself on a crucifix
Right.
about doing this whole thing because he pretty much touched every subject that's wrong with people's thinking
And
that he could.
And there have been actors in the past that have completely been blacklisted because they did a role like this, and that's what people are afraid of.
I don't know, dude. Like I said, I like resonate with this woman as far as like being pissed,
Oh yeah.
like because you're just like she saw the nearest thing to fuck this dude up, and she's just like, think that would hurt so bad.
What, man?
The fucking thing through his thumb.
Oh, the
Oh,
the
man.
fat dentist,
yes.
the woman with a funny eye.
Okay,
the
but
fat
that was fucked. Like, I'm afraid of the dentist.
Yeah.
So that scene was, I mean, that's fucking traumatizing. Like, no, excuse me, I'm vulnerable in this chair with my mouth wide open, and you're no. Come
And then
at
he
me,
vigorously gives her the Novocaine,
Right.
shoots it into her gums, and she's like, ah.
motherfucker deserved it.
That's what I think is fucking hilarious. After they arrest her, she's like, no, I did not.
That's
Like
the best.
her mouth isn't
Did you
working
go to
because
the
it's all
dentist
numb.
today? No. That's great. That is one of my favorite bits.
Denise, I did not.
It's like, wow, nice try.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so yeah, she assaults the dentist, but then when she comes in to get interrogated, Chief Willoughby ends up coughing up blood.
Yeah, they're firing back and forth, just trying to one up each other, and then all of a sudden,
I love Woody Harrelson's character in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Sam Rockwell. I was just about those two. That's what did it for me, especially for the first watch.
Dixon, you goddamn asshole.
And in the whole time with Woody Harrelson's character, you can definitely see, like, he does it so well that that this subject was sore for him. Like, he felt just as bad, obviously not just as bad as the mother, but it hit him because he's a dad. He doesn't want this shit to happen to his kids.
Right, and he wanted to solve it. It's just he had no leads.
And then that showed like the police side of it is just like, the small town police department. His mind's bigger than that place as far as, but he only had X amount of resources to do it, and there's only so much you can do, to an extent. And obviously, there were points where he could have made it more work for himself, and he chose not to. Mm-hmm. And that's, obviously the big point of her thing with him.
Right.
Yeah,
but
he cares, but it's clear that maybe it's been on the back burner for a bit.
Well, he definitely wanted to. It was like one of those, like, he had a choice. Do I hit this hard, or do I just let it die?
Right.
Like, no pun intended. But and he chose to, because it was easier. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he had his own issues. The fact that he was dying himself, and yeah, I don't know. The whole time, yeah, I love his character.
The moment that he does cough up blood, I mean, you see Mildred flip into much more of a compassionate character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He even calls him baby. Like,
yeah.
It's immediate.
It's blood. I know, baby.
Yeah,
I know.
and then
I'll
she
go get
runs
help.
to go get help, and he says, "Just let her go," and Dixon is pissed, and
Mm-hmm.
but he's just like, "No, we have bigger fish to fry. We're not dealing with this dentist thumb issue right now." Mildred's ex-husband finds out about the billboards and tries to intimidate her with violence in her own home. Fucker. But is stopped by their son wielding a knife to his father's throat. So it looks like it runs in the family. The staunchness. The son just holds a knife to his dad's throat.
I have comments about that, but continue.
Okay. Chief Willoughby then shows Chief Willoughby taking his family on a picnic. During the day, he lays everyone to bed at night and ends up taking his life while everyone sleeps. So they have this beautiful day, and then he goes out to the horse barn and takes his own life. When Dixon finds out about his mentor's death, he takes off across the street from the police station. He throws Red from the second-story window of his office, and Dixon then loses his job, shocker, when the new chief walks in after witnessing all of his actions in the street. Literally watches Dixon break the door in the advertising agency, the glass door. He breaks it with his baton. He walks up the stairs, and he just throws Red out the window. Right in front of his new chief, who he does not know is his new chief yet. And then Mildred and Robbie later find the billboards on fire, and they stop to put them out. To seek revenge, Mildred sets the police station on fire. There's a lot of fire. A lot of arson going on.
Fire.
Explosions.
Yeah.
Lethal Weapon
Yeah.
4.
The billboards get set on fire.
Fire.
Then she's like, I can play this game too.
Mm-hmm.
She sets the police station on fire, but immediately feels guilt when Dixon jumps out of the flames with her daughter's case file in his hands. And he pushes it to the center of the road while all his clothes are on fire. And she sees what she has done. Okay, so yeah, ex-husband fighting out about the billboards. He comes into the house and he's pissed.
Dick
Yes.
bag.
All right. So that man looked super familiar. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to figure it out. Do you remember the movie? I think it was 1994. It's a cult classic. Shaquille O'Neal is Steel. The Superman movie he made?
No.
No.
Oh my God, it's so bad. It's great. Judd Nelson in his prime. But anyway, the dad in this, he mugs Shaquille O'Neal. Or tries
okay.
to, but he's wearing that big fucking metal suit.
I thought it was going to be about Shazam.
No.
It's Shaquille O'Neal and Super S. It's like Shazam.
He did other movies, okay?
I am Shazam.
What's your wish, boy?
But yeah, her ex-husband just looks like a turd.
Yeah,
He is a turd.
Just
all right,
a
this
big turd.
We watched this with my mother the other day, and I think this scene rang true to her because she's lived through it. Mm-hmm. Like, it almost exactly. Not the conversation they're having, but the shit that would happen. It is, like, you were saying that the son was a bit much for him to pull a knife. But in situations like that, somebody's throwing a fucking table, pinning a woman up against the wall. Right. You need to match their aggressiveness, otherwise they will not fucking stop.
Well, and I'm not saying that it was a bit much. I'm saying that he has the balls, the cojones, just like his mother, to do this kind of shit. I mean, he didn't even hesitate.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
He was fucking on him.
Yeah.
But then it's cut immediately. Oh, it's immediately cut by the girlfriend walking. Is this a bad time? It's a bad time. I'm gonna go.
I need to use the bathroom.
That's why I love the director. It's just those subtle bits of comedy. It's fucking hilarious because that's a very intense moment where he's throwing it. Anyway.
And she's such a ditz.
Yeah.
Like, bless her heart.
Actually, I don't work at the zoo anymore. They were getting rid of people, so now I'm cleaning horses for the disabled. I'm cleaning the disabled horses.
Bless her heart. She's so pretty.
Right.
But yeah, her character is so pretty.
Did she really say baguettes?
I read it on a bookmark.
It was in a book that I was reading?
About polio?
Or polo. Which one is the one about the horses?
I love her. I love that they added her character in there because, I mean, it is comic relief, but it's just like, oh my God.
Right.
And the kind of asshole that the ex-husband is for, I mean, he could be her father. Mm-hmm. Big time.
I think that falls into the controversial topics of everything about this movie was that the way that dude's mind thinks and the way he wants to manipulate someone, he realized he can only do it with a child.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he wants the control.
Yeah. And that's, like I said, this is one of the many topics of this movie. Like
I
said,
he's an abuser.
The more times I watch this movie, every single character fits a controversial role in society.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That not necessarily that need to be addressed.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. But we're human as well. No one's perfect.
Indubitably.
But yeah, he's an asshole, and he storms in, causes a whole fucking scene.
The comment, like, you just want to punch him in the mouth right when he's walking out. Or if I would have let her live with me instead of you, she'd still be here.
This would have never
That's
happened.
fucked up.
Putting it back on.
And then Mildred turns to Robbie.
And I'm sure
she's
even thought about that herself.
Of course she's thought about that.
Yeah, like
fucking asshole.
Let's just like what? Yeah, go ahead.
It's just Robbie though. He's quick to be like, "Does it matter?" It's like it's not important.
It doesn't. It's not going to change.
What's done
anything.
is done.
Right.
Yeah.
But that was twisting the knife in the wound.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Robbie, like he's a pissed off kid, and I've been that pissed off kid before too. You don't know what it's like being a teenager, Mom. But I understand, like, he's bitter and he doesn't want to know the details of his sister's gruesome fucking murder, but he still defends her. Like, and then she throws a cereal in his hair, and that's kind of like a throwback to her old personality. She's trying to bring it back in.
Yeah. It's a little bit of an olive branch.
Mm-hmm.
But he gets pissed off at first, but then starts smiling. But ultimately, you know that he loves her deep down, even though he's so embarrassed by his mom. He loves her through and through.
Yeah.
That falls into the teenager aspect of it all. Like, teenagers are so worried about everyone else, what they think.
Yep.
It's very sad, like, now being 30 plus and then looking back on that. Like, I was totally like that too. I'm sure we all were.
I kept saying I wasn't, but I totally was.
That's so teenage of you to say.
God, I know. I don't care what people think. Look at my Jinkos. 54 inches.
Jesus.
Fucking douchebag.
Camp under those.
I'd have beat me up too. God damn it.
But yeah, no, I mean, like I said, everyone fits like their role so well in the terms of like I don't want to say stereotype they're going for, but yeah, that's the mind of a teenager is like that.
Yeah, it's the you don't know what it's like being a teenager mom phase. I get it.
Yep.
I went through it.
But it's like we do.
I had all the.
We finished it.
I was an angsty teenager.
God, I was listening to Marilyn Manson. Yes. My life is a
just
black
angry.
door. I got a Cadillac Escalade for Christmas when all I wanted was a hug.
What?
Well, so we can jump to when Chief Willoughby takes his family to the riverfront.
Like seeing this movie for the first time recently, like that whole scene was extremely wholesome, right? And then, he had his perfect day. The shock and awe of like him just ending himself was crazy to me.
And
Like
it
I
was
was
so
like,
planned out.
it was.
It goes from such a great, beautiful, wholesome moment, and then you realize what the fuck he's doing.
You got to respect his decision though. Like
In
I've
a
seen
way,
someone,
yes.
as someone who has seen someone go through what he would be going through, you got to respect his decision because
yeah.
I guarantee he knew what he was about to get into just for it to end the way that it will.
And he
So why not cut the corner and be on your own terms?
And he even explained that in his letter to his wife.
Yep.
Right.
That it's either this or watching you fall apart because I am falling apart. Mm-hmm. So it's better
He
to
doesn't
just
want her to remember him that way or spend those last moments that way.
There's never a right moment for like a parent of a household to pass away.
right.
At least doing on his terms, and he was able to prepare.
The thing I love about the notes though is that they didn't
notes
try
are
to
great.
make this poetic justice with
No.
the letters.
The
It
notes
was
are
just
fantastic.
like he was a bro.
Yeah.
He was just like, so dude, like, I'm dead. Sorry. It just straight to the point how Woody Harrelson would fucking talk. And then that was it.
Dude,
It
something
wasn't
about
like,
Woody Harrelson's voice is soothing.
Yeah,
I don't know
agree.
why. I'm just like,
I
I
think it's
can listen to you
his smooth
talk.
transition from word to word or something. Like that.
and there's
know.
that slight, very slight southern twang.
Yep, just a little
Well,
bit. But yeah, I mean, and I love the fact that he let the horses out, and that he taped the note to the
his
bag
head.
over
Don't
his
remove the
head.
bag, just get the boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phone the boys.
Phone the
Phone
boys. Dixon is just distraught.
Yarp.
His only, really, probably the only
only
person that he
friend.
truly respects and looks up to, and that feels like, he's his mentor, and
Plus,
he's gone.
he understood him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And nobody,
He
I
gave him
felt
a
he probably
chance.
felt no one else could.
Right. Willoughby was the only one that saw the potential in him. Even Dixon didn't see the potential in himself. And we'll get to that in a bit, but
Yeah. It's.
I mean, his death probably sparked his growth.
it 100%
Had
did.
to have.
Yeah. Yeah. For
Especially
sure.
with the letter.
But yeah, Dixon is absolutely distraught. Mildred sees it on the television and just shuts off the TV. And you can see how Robbie, her son, is just so disappointed in the background, and it just shakes everything.
It's another thing for him to be embarrassed about.
Yep.
Because everybody's going to blame his mom.
You think about what that kid went through. Jesus. Obviously,
In dealing,
they don't focus on him as much.
but the few times they do, it's enough to make you imagine just like dealing with high school full of teenagers, just fucking crucifying him for
And then your
even
mom
being
drives-
Right.
associated. It's
him
like
in the
it's like
crotch.
my sister's dead, but yes, my mother's dramatic, but I'm the bad guy. Mm-hmm. It's like,
And
come
I
on.
get all the flack for it.
It's
Right.
fucking
And my
high
dad's an
school kids.
abuser.
Right.
Like,
Alleged.
fuck. Whatever. He choked her up against the wall. He's an abuser.
Commenting on Willoughby saying that.
Oh, allegedly. Right. I guess it's his word against yours. After they all realize, okay, he's dead. He's gone. And Dixon just explodes. And he storms out of the police station, across the street, in front of cars. They're screeching to a halt as he seems intoxicated.
I'm sure he is.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Or
I'm-
hungover at least.
Or
yeah.
hungover, something. He's not in his
He's
right
definitely
mind.
got like a shooter in his pocket at all times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His
And he doesn't mean the
character-
gun.
His character's an alcoholic, so you can assume, especially by the way he is walking and carrying himself, that he may be under the influence of something. And he marches up the stairs, breaks the door, breaks the window, and he starts just beating the shit out of Red at first. And then he grabs him and throws him out the window
He
into
was
the middle of the
pistol
street.
whipping him.
Yeah,
Fucking straight up pistol whipping him.
yeah. And then throws him into the street in front of many townspeople and the new chief of police.
And Carrie Condon.
And she's screaming, "Oh my God!" And then as he's leaving, he punches Carrie Condon in the face.
I
Shoulda.
still want to
And that's the
know.
last time you see her in the
I
film.
still want to know what kind of baby juice she was drinking to where she looks younger now.
Yeah, what the hell?
Like,
kind of baby
Carrie
juice
Condon,
like,
can you
She got the fucking spinal fluid.
share
like,
your
She's like
secrets?
famous enough to have it. I know we're not supposed to talk about it. Where she
Oh, the adrenochrome
Yeah.
or whatever.
did- yeah, sorry.
The weird baby shit.
Yeah.
Sandra
Yeah.
Bullock's.
They're
baby
all
shit.
lizard people. Anyway, but when he sees the new chief, it's just a guy standing on the corner, and he's like, "What the fuck are you looking at?" And he walks back inside. And then, all right, notice like when he gets fired, he doesn't have his badge. Mm-hmm. Do you guys remember the last time you saw his badge?
I remember when he gets it again, but I don't remember when he had it last.
And see, I was looking for, because I was skimming back through to see when he found it again. Was there a moment where he did find it again, or when he just laid it on the table? I found my badge after all.
There was a moment he did find it, I believe.
I can't
Because I remember,
thought so,
because
too.
I didn't even notice he didn't have a badge until it was like, "Where's your badge?"
Yeah.
Like maybe I did notice, like, but like subconsciously, but didn't think about it.
You go. I went back through and I found the last time he had his badge is when him and Willoughby are at the Billboards investigating.
Oh,
And that's the last time you see his badge?
That's the last time you see his badge. So it's like 30 minutes later, at numerous bar trips later,
Okay.
when they arrest Mildred. He didn't have his badge.
God,
No badge.
such a dipshit.
I know. But anyway, so back to him throwing out the window. I think it's fucking funny because everybody's in a bad mood, and that new police chief walks in. He's like, "What's your name?" "It's on my shirt, man."
Yeah. They
Jelko
just, like,
Ivanic.
there's just like no fucking respect for this guy when he gets there.
No,
prejudice.
Yeah.
It's like
Look,
now
it's-
you guys.
I don't think that
Jelko Ivanic.
his response was racist. I think he was just like, I don't want to fucking deal with anything. He's just a bad cop. So he
Yes
sees this
and
guy
no.
walk in.
I think the direction they went for was the underlining racism.
Could be.
Yeah, I agree.
Like the because like say you're just a regular white dude walked in, you know, he would at least give him the respect of it, you know, eye to eye.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely think it was 100% meant to show the prejudice of the police department.
Yes.
I mean, otherwise it's just way too ironic.
Right.
Like, you know.
Even if it wasn't, yeah, I guess it's like a deep dive of sure, but no, I think that's what they were going for.
Right. So then this guy announces that he's the interim chief. And Dixon, "You have got to be fucking kidding me."
Jesus Christ. There's just like, I know people like Dixon in my life, and it's so well done. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like Sam Rockwell was just, he completely embodied this role.
Exactly.
He's so good.
Right.
Like I can't express that enough how great he is. Any role he does is fantastic.
Yeah.
Because he gets involved with the
Yeah.
character, and he's not one of those annoying method actors.
Well, yeah, and
Sorry to all the
he-
method actors who are out there. I don't mean to offend anybody, but like the
Dude.
people that go a little overboard with their method acting is what I mean.
right.
The extreme.
Well, no, and
There was an episode of Monk.
I think he's the right amount of dramatic.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Especially portraying an alcoholic.
an alcoholic racist,
Yeah.
An alcoholic dummy racist.
mama's boy.
Yeah.
Who is Charlie Day's mom in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
That's right. I do.
And
love
she
that
also
actress.
was the mother in
Yeah.
Napoleon.
I know.
In Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, that's right.
Kip.
Make yourself a dang quesadilla.
Yeah.
I didn't. Wow. I haven't seen that in years.
To be fair, I just thought of it. I was like, well, how do I know
To
her?
be fair.
To be fair.
She's great. She's another like take no shit kind of woman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Okay, so obviously Dixon loses his job, even though he has to question and ask if he's suspended or fired. And Cedric's like, "No, you're fired. Fired."
Sorry,
Well, because
buddy.
that speaks to Willoughby as well. Because if Willoughby, it might have been a question. Yeah, like, my bad.
Yeah.
You know, I threw him out the window.
Oops.
That I think Willoughby even would have been like, yeah, you're fired.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty fucking extreme.
Right.
I mean, I mean, it was on Main Street
Right.
for what looks to be
So you're
Main
saying
Street.
if he wouldn't have done that on
He
Main Street,
tortured a man
then
in
it would have been a
custody,
question.
Bill.
No, I mean, like, even Willoughby probably can't. You can't overlook that. Like, are you kidding me? All the witnesses that saw this, like, come on now.
Right.
You can't let this guy get away with that. What precedent does that set? So, yep, he gets fired, and, you know, he hands in his gun and not his badge because he does not know where his badge is. And he tries to whisper it.
Yeah, apparently I can't find my badge.
Don't let anybody know. So then we cut to the billboards on fire.
And this part is the only part in this movie. I shouldn't say the only part. Well, it gets me really fucking emotional. Like when Robbie is yelling, like, "Mom, just leave it," and she goes, "Robbie!" Like that. Oh, it just does something to me because I get it. I hold on to shit the same way. I did. Granted, I haven't been in the situation that she is in, but you know, a friend who died 11 years ago. I wear his bracelets every fucking day to never forget. So I completely understand. Like I cannot let this go. This is the one thing I have to finding out what actually happened. So I
Right.
completely understand the blood curdling, like, give me the fucking extinguisher.
And let alone a mother to a daughter.
Right.
That is.
Yeah.
Just think
That's
about like
something I
your
will
guys'
never
bonds
understand.
with your mother, but just imagine. You know, obviously it's hard when a parent dies, but imagine a parent losing a child.
Exactly.
That's a whole other
It's
beast.
just like, it's the guttural scream of a mother who had to
Yeah.
bury her child. Mm-hmm. And it's so real.
And the last thing that she has of her daughter is those fucking billboards.
Well, it shows to like what little she could even do in the situation. You're like she couldn't do anything about it. She's like, all I can do is do this.
Yeah, exactly.
It's her power.
You have to, if you feel like you have to do something, you have to try. And then somebody just comes along and burns your shit down
Yeah.
that you spent so much money on, and you feel like it's your last hope and it's getting burned to the ground.
Right. And fuck the money.
Well,
It's
and-
all about the
I think that was the moment that Robbie understood how much it actually means. Like
Yeah.
what she's doing.
Yeah,
Is
I
he
mean, he
just-
lets her take it and run off.
Well, he had to set his own shit aside because in his mind, the quicker these are gone, the less he's got to deal with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He was still distraught when he saw him on fire because he was like, holy shit.
Right.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think throughout the film, Robbie kind of he gains more awareness of his mother's view and what she's going through emotionally. I think.
He's a
more
kid,
more
he's
respect
learning.
for the situation. Yes.
Yeah.
He's learning as he's going.
Dude, I think he was just pissed off finding out the details because he even mentions, like, I never read the police files because I didn't want to know the gruesome details, but now I have to see them every fucking time we come home.
Yep. Every day. So after the billboards are set ablaze, obviously, I mean, Mildred is just pissed. She is pissed and vengeful, and she decides
Crucify the motherfuckers.
she decides to crucify the motherfuckers by setting the police station on fire. We're just fighting arson with arson here.
But she does call to make sure there's nobody
She
in there.
does.
She calls twice before she throws her first fucking Molotov cocktail, the little badass.
Yeah, shows up with a backpack full of Molotov. And
Wow.
she does try to make sure that no one's in there.
But lo and behold, Big Dummy Dixon's inside
With his
reading
goddamn his earphones. Mm-hmm. His headphones are in, so he can't hear a damn thing.
But he's reading that note from Willoughby.
Right.
And he's
telling him
supposed
he's
to
gonna-
leave his keys.
Yep, leave his keys. You'd be a great detective if you actually put your mind to it, and that is what changed him.
He said, "Being a detective takes love."
And so when that window explodes and he falls on the ground, the first thing he grabs is the Angela Hayes case file. Sticks it in his pants, and then he jumps out the window. Is there? My thought is like, is there no back door you could go out?
It looked okay. I had that thought too.
I thought that
and
too.
I think it was just like a weird front. What makes no sense to me is like
Maybe there was no
where's their
back door.
where's their jails
Yeah.
cells like because it looks like just like a storefront.
Yeah.
And I was kind of I it's hilarious you brought this up because that was my initial thought because I was like, is it just like this room here and that's it? It's like what kind of police station?
It
is
could have
that?
been
Yeah.
continuity error with set design.
Possible. It was a
Maybe.
2-story, so maybe everything was upstairs. Maybe there was like
possibly.
there was like a stair off to the side that we just didn't see.
Well, and that's a good point because she's setting it on fire. So she's if there's jail cells upstairs, she could be potentially setting inmates
People.
on fire.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh fuck! That
But that's just like that's not mentioned at all, or even
no. So maybe it
you
is
only
just a
see Dixon.
police house.
But I guess if somebody was in those cells, there would be someone there.
right.
So
Dixon escapes the burning fire, throws the Angela Hayes case out into the street, and then Peter Dinklage just appears out of nowhere.
That fucking confused me because he was just like right around the corner. Hey.
He's just there.
yeah.
My thought
I mean-
was, it's like, okay, maybe he was at the bar
Yeah, and he was walking home.
because he mentions he has a drinking problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe he was at the bar and he was just walking home.
I liked his character.
I did
did
too.
We didn't
too.
talk about him at all. But I really liked his character, especially when they, not to cut ahead, but with their date and his little his
I ain't gonna
speech.
fuck you neither. I guess.
I guess. It's how she gets away with setting the police
Yeah, I was about to say
station on fire.
he and then so she repays him with I'll go to dinner with you.
But that's where you find out who set the billboards on fire, and that's why she gets so pissed and she wants
It was
to
her
leave.
ex-husband, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
That
I knew that.
motherfucker.
Because I never caught that before. He's like, sorry, I was drunk. Anyway,
Yeah, I had a lot to drink.
It was a good show of her where she's at, like emotionally, like especially like sexually, how she's just not interested. Mm-hmm. Like I just thought it was a good like just affirmation on her character, I guess in a sense. And that's why I thought the dinner was relevant.
but yeah, it was a very poignant scene.
I felt so bad
I like
for,
cheesy things.
for Peter
I'm
Dinklage.
gonna look for things that are cheesy.
And then she says, "You forced me." I'm like, oh,
Forced you?
That hurts.
Asked you on a date.
That hurts. I hurt for him. God, I mean,
But
he
who the hell are you,
literally-
man?
I mean, he's saving her from going to prison.
Right.
Like, I mean, she lit a police station on fire, and he's lying for her, and he just asked her to go to dinner with him.
I love how movies like play down stuff that happens in life.
Right.
Like if that happened here, that'd be like a big deal.
Oh yeah.
My news break could be going off. Like everyone would know.
This movie is about my mother. Well, it's the character is based off of my mother. It's got to be.
Loosely?
They are almost identical.
There's a
dude.
lot of similarities.
Can you imagine this movie if they actually did it from a male perspective?
That's
feel like
basically
it'd be
going to
a
be
little
The
bit-
Last of Us.
I feel like
the
that-
Last of Us series coming out.
Okay. Well, like she said earlier, how it was based off of originally it was a man,
Right.
not
it
a
was
woman.
the father.
Because I feel like if they did a man, it'd be more violent. If they wanted to make it a movie, even though the dude himself probably wasn't, but obviously they have to make money. So like we can do this better from a female role.
Yeah, I think that it was definitely strategic to switch it to a female, to a mother.
That way they could touch all the subjects they did touch. It's like if we're gonna do all this, we might as well just throw it all in there.
Right.
Okay, so Mildred gets a knock at the door from the man that put up the billboards originally, informing her that they have duplicates of all 3 billboards. And with a group of volunteers, they go and they put them back up. Then we cut to Dixon, still devastated about Willoughby and losing his job on the police force, deciding to drink his life away. While sitting at the bar, Dixon overhears 2 men talking about rape. So he picks a fight with them in order to gather DNA to test for the Angela Hayes case. Informing Mildred there may be a match, they both get their hopes up to catch the killer. But when the test turns out not to be a match, they decide to drive to Idaho to find the man Dixon fought, the original man that he thought had done it, even though they're hesitant to kill him.
Didn't earlier on Willoughby mentioned, just pure happenstance if you hear somebody talking about it, about a rape
Yes.
of sorts, and then it actually happened. That was when they were on the swing set, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
He was saying at some point someone's going to brag to his buddies or
Yeah.
say something, and that's how we're going to catch him.
And it might not necessarily be their case, but at least it's someone's case.
Well, and it turns out not to be this dickhead. He shows up at the gift shop that Mildred works
Yeah.
at, and it drove me crazy. I know there are people like this, but he just random guy wants to fucking threaten her, even though like it was proven later that it's not him, right? Mm-hmm. What the fuck are you doing? Like, why
Dude,
are you?
Some people are.
They're
Their
egomaniacs.
egos. Yeah. Dude, okay. I'm
Like
gonna.
this fucking bitch. Like, what? Who the fuck cares? Blah, blah, blah.
I even witnessed that in my real life,
Right.
but it happens,
Oh yeah.
and it's ridiculous.
It's stupid. So Dixon's at the bar, and he notices that dickhead from the fucking the gift shop talking. And I even tried subtitles, and it still couldn't get everything that they were saying. But he
Right.
said something about like, was she hot? Yeah, when I lit her on fire, she was hot.
Yeah, I mean, he's
Something like
talking
that.
about
That.
he's like talking about raping someone and setting them on fire, which is exactly what happened to Mildred's daughter.
Right.
So yeah, if I were Dixon, I'd be like, "Yep, I'm gonna find a way to get this guy's DNA." Now, because Dixon is Dixon, he takes the hardest route possible to collect this guy's DNA. The guy is sitting there.
In the way,
Drinking
it was
from a glass.
It was kind of ingenious, though.
It was ingenious for Dixon.
In general, like very people could pull off that finesse. Like
Right.
I think it's ingenious in general. Like
He could have just
There-
asked
there-
the bartender to save
I think that
the
was literally
glass.
the turning point. Yes, but in the same breath, like he like they already point out that they're already like nervous of Dixon even being there, just because he was sitting, they're in their booth and he was
His
booth-
half-burned body
right. So
sitting in a booth sipping beer.
like you got to respect, like yes, it in his way, but I think it was genius.
I mean, he got it done.
It did get done.
What I thought was genius was how he remembered the license plate being as fucking hammered as he is. I can't remember my fucking
that's-
name when I'm stumbling that bad.
That falls into the Willoughby and
Yeah,
just
he-
being a great detective who puts his
Yeah.
mind to it.
And that's where I think it's funny
I think
because
this is another page turn for him.
he goes about it the wrong way, but he's fucking all of a sudden Dick Tracy.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets the DNA by scratching him.
I love that
It's-
he takes a few shots first. Like, he, chugs the rest of his beer, goes
Right.
and gets a shot. He's like, man, I'm about to get my shit rocked.
Well, and he just got burned, too. He's like, all right, I'm going to add to it. Fuck it. I'm
Yeah.
already fucked
But he
up.
does it.
Right.
I mean, he gets a big old chunk of that man's skin underneath his fingernails, and that's that. It's just not the guy.
It was
Not the
someone's.
guy.
It was someone's guy, though.
And that, yeah, I do, I see that point, and I see what they're getting at is it more than likely it did happen, but it was overseas. And, I mean, they're still like, okay, well, he's still a fucking rapist.
Right, and that's pointing. That could be directing at other countries. Maybe, that's more even overlooked in different countries.
Yeah.
Not not even just here. Like here, it's possibly talked about more, but in other countries, it's like mum's the word. You're not gonna.
Yeah.
Especially with some people.
And if he was in the military, if he was a soldier, like,
Right.
ooh,
We
buddy.
don't know his rank of military either. Like, how important was he?
Yep.
So
So that
This
was
movie's
that was a deep
great
nugget
in those senses.
there.
I gotta give this movie the credit for its detail.
Right.
Like,
Right.
because my first initial watch of this was like whatever. It was the second watch where I was just like, damn, they did this right.
There are a lot of details that I think you don't catch the first time around.
Not at all.
I've watched it several times now, and I feel like there are still small things that I notice that I completely overlooked the last time. Like, oh my God, that makes so much sense.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, they did a very good job with the details and making it all fit. But yeah, Dixon, I mean, he took one for the team. He grew in that moment.
Yeah, that's when he's starting to get his turning point. He kind of loses it at the first sign of failure. When the DNA test comes back negative for Angela Hayes, he gives up. That's when he reveals he has the badge. And he's just like, fuck it, I'm going vigilante.
Yep.
So he calls Francis McDormand. I know he's a bad guy, and I know where he lives. Well, it looks like we're taking a road trip or something. Or it looks like I'm
Funny,
heading to Idaho.
I'm leaving for Idaho in the morning. It's like, oh, you vengeful fucks, I love you.
Right?
She's a great actress too.
Yeah.
I love this cast.
Like
that's
They're
fantastic.
amazing.
They were worth every penny.
And she's I think she's everybody's favorite part in Fargo.
Yep.
You find something, Margie?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I think I'm gonna barf.
I love Frances McDormand.
Or she was awesome in
she-
Primal Fear.
She managed to make
Wonderful.
Transformers 3 good. She was arguing with a couple people, and there was like one of the little Autobots in the room, right? She just he says something to her, like clearly to put her in her place, and then to pretty much 99% of people in the world have been like, okay, we're done here. She just fucking rips a drawer, pulls open her drawer, pulls a gun out, and she just gives him her dead stare. And then it's like, okay.
All right, never mind. One thing I
she's
haven't
great.
brought up. All right, my initial watch, I thought it was fucking Dixon who did it. Like that was my initial thought until there was a turning point. What was the turning point?
There was definitely I agree. Because throughout the whole movie, you're kind of just waiting for him to be the dumbass that to end up being like the quote unquote like mastermind or even the rapist itself.
That's what I thought. It was like he was the rapist.
Mm-hmm. And that's, I think, the genius of how Sam Rockwell did the role.
Yeah,
He
'cause
left it
he's-
very open.
He's such an asshole. He's the one that's the most pissed off about the billboards. But you start to realize that it's because they're making fun of the only father figure he's ever had.
Yes.
Or not making fun of, but
Right. No,
They're
no.
attacking.
It was attack.
Calling
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
yes. So I missed that up until like the end
Mm-hmm.
when I first watched it. I totally thought it was Dixon. And then when he calls Mildred, he's got the shotgun. He's scratching his head with the barrel.
Thought he was going to kill himself.
I totally did.
Yeah.
I thought
that too.
it's like holy shit because he couldn't get the job done, and he disappointed Willoughby.
It also, like, there's so much detail to his inner turmoil of a character.
Mm-hmm.
And he nailed every bit of it, too. It's crazy.
From the moments of like his mother clearly not thinking that he's shit, but then when he runs in after getting the guy's DNA and he's beat to shit, and she is running after him and screaming through the bathroom door because she's crying, she's worried about him because,
Well,
I
it's
think-
still her son.
yeah,
Yeah.
So you see both sides of that
There's
with
just
her.
so many bullets of
Yeah.
like, bullet points for
I
these
know.
characters. It's crazy.
Yeah, but he's reassuring her like,
Yeah.
I'm fine, don't look at me.
Mm-hmm.
But
Open the door.
yeah, I mean, it's like, oh my god, no, she does care about you, even though throughout the entire film she just
You just think
talks
she's
mad
abusive,
shit.
Yeah.
hard ass mother.
Yep.
Yeah, they just have that relationship.
And it's just small scenes with a lot of these characters that just give you that justice of information about their character. Like that's what I like about this movie so much. Like I said, I keep saying it's the details insane.
Martin McDonough knows how to write character, how to write atmosphere. He's very good
And
at
that's
that.
why it was probably such a low budget. And then all the money went to the fucking actors.
I did want to just touch on, I know that obviously, we talk about not all movies that win awesome awards or lots of awards are great. We don't always enjoy them.
Because it's all one big
'Cause
circle jerk.
yeah, if it's all about the money or whatever. However, I did just want to mention that, Three Billboards, that's what got me interested in it, is because I knew it won all of these awards in 2018, and I had read all these articles about it, and then...
And see, that's what deterred me from it. Like, I saw it won a bunch of awards. I'm like, this
Oh.
movie...
But it
with
had
such-
There's
Frances
gotta be-
McDormand in it.
It's gotta be.
I understand that, but I just like that movie she did for fucking Amazon. That was a pointless movie.
Yeah, that was not great.
I thought it was going to be another big stinker. I honestly thought this movie's going to be so stupid because most of the movies that win awards like that, they're just trying to boost ticket sales or
Sure.
DVD rentals or
But sometimes there are legitimate ones.
So, the awards that this film won, they had 4 Golden Globes, including Best Motion Picture in Drama, Best Actress in Drama, Best Supporting Actor, Best Screenplay, 2 Academy Awards for Best Actress and Best Supporting Actor, which, of course, Frances McDormand and Sam Rockwell won those. I believe Woody Harrelson also won another
All
supporting
three
award.
deserved it.
But they were
They
all of
deserve
them were
everything.
nominated. And then the American Film Institute selected Three Billboards as one of its 10 films of the year. And then it also won a shitload of international awards. Mm-hmm. So, it was just raking in the dough on a 12 to 15 million
Shame
dollar
on me
budget.
for
$12,000 to
never-
$15,000 budget.
Shame on me for never actually watching this up until we decided we were doing it.
Yeah, sometimes
was-
movies sneak past your
Well,
radar.
there was like a good, I want to say like 2012 to maybe like 2018 to 20, where a lot of new movies I just kind of wrote off. Because it was just like a bad time for films, unless like you're going to see like a Marvel flick or something. Like
Right.
nothing
It
really
was
good was
all
coming out.
about the Marvel.
Well, to be fair,
Nobody wanted to compete with it.
nobody.
To be fair.
To be fair. No. Yeah. Exactly. And even some of like the Netflix movies, like some of them are okay. I guess it's just like I think that was in the transition era of just switching to live stream.
So as they're leaving, like we talked about, they're going to Idaho to get this motherfucker. Even though
Just going
he's not,
vigilante justice.
basically he's not their killer or he's not their rapist, but he's someone's.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know what? This is some form of justice in their minds. But you kind of see them slip as they're driving away, and Mildred asks Dixon, like, are you sure about this? And he goes, sure about what? Killing this guy? And he says no. And you're like, well then fuck, what are we doing?
Sometimes you just need to drive.
And Mildred basically is like, well, I guess we'll figure it out on the way. And they drive off with a gun in the trunk of the car.
This ending, like on the first watch, I thought was kind of bogus at first. It was the second watch I appreciated the ending. This movie, this is like a 5-watch movie over like a 5-month span.
Yeah.
To really get the real grasp of it.
It's a thinker.
For sure.
It is a thinker.
Like just not like it doesn't know justice.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the first time I watched it, I was like, I don't feel any closure.
Right.
I
And
don't
that
like
was
this feeling.
That's the point.
yeah.
But exactly, that's the point. And then after a couple more watches, I'm like, no, I like it because it is that inner turmoil of like, is it worth taking someone else's kid?
What also says that her situation is everlasting.
Yeah.
It doesn't have an ending. It just continues.
And just, I mean, even if they do go and kill this guy in Idaho, they don't have any actual proof of what he's done other than hearing him talk about it to a buddy in a bar.
Right.
Is that going to make it go away? No. Like, her daughter's not coming back. It's not going to fix anything.
Well, and they understand that.
Yeah.
They 100% understand that, but it's kind of like the creation of the Punisher.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was this very similar situation that made him fucking snap.
Yeah, I mean, they want to take it into their own hands and get justice for her daughter. But then they start to question if this is the right way to do it.
Mm-hmm. Moral of the story, don't go to Idaho.
I like Idaho. I've camped there. It's very nice.
I've never been there.
It's very nice.
Me neither. Like we've done in the previous, this is part of the podcast where we decide, what did you think about it? And I feel like I'm going to go on a limb of saying that we'll all probably will buy this, but the rating is, is this a one and done for you? Is this a, rent occasionally, or are we going to buy it? Have it on my fictional DVD case behind me, or real life one.
Did you say fictional DVD
Yes.
case?
I'm like, you don't even have a way to play DVDs.
In that drawer over there is a DVD player.
Is it new?
In that drawer over there.
No,
So you did have a way.
I did. I found it, and then he gave me the DVD already.
Good.
Anywho's,
perfume.
I was
for
like, how do you
perfume.
not have a way to play this movie?
I found it. Anyway, I spaced ahead. To be fair.
To be fair.
Anyway, so I'm just gonna say, yeah, this is a buy for me. I like it. I feel like I said before, it doesn't know justice if you don't watch it multiple times, and it gets better every time.
Right. There's little details that you pick up every single time.
It makes you question yourself. It makes you question people around you. Like I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Because it makes you think, do I do stuff like that? Am I prejudiced without thinking about it?
Right.
Makes you think about it, for sure. So, what do you think, Tessa?
I would definitely say own it. I like it a lot. I love Frances McDormand, Woody Harrelson, Sam Rockwell. They're so good.
And
Željko Ivanek.
And he's great too. He's good too. But yeah, no, definitely own it. Watch it several times. Show it to as many people as I possibly can. Kind of film. I think it's really well done, and I think it is one that makes you think, and you're gonna notice different things and new things every time you watch it. So I would definitely say it's at least worth a couple watches to truly get it, I think.
And if you want it done, that's your choice.
Yeah. Some people might hate it.
And I'm going to judge you heavily for it. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
What'd you think, Ben?
Well, this clearly is an own for me because I own it twice.
Oh.
She hadn't seen it yet, so I was like, oh my God, you haven't seen this movie? I did one of those. Couldn't find it on any streaming services, so I ordered the fucking Amazon package, get it in the mail. Don't know where the fucking physical copy is. Once Tessa decided we were doing this, looked for it everywhere. Don't know where the fuck it is. I probably went, you haven't seen it?
Gave it to somebody. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I bought it on Amazon just for quick. Boom.
Right.
It was $8.
So if you're listening and you have our copy, can you please let us know?
Sons of bitches.
If we lent it to you, we have forgotten.
I checked all the hospitals. You aren't in any of them.
Please let us know.
But it's one of those movies, like, clearly the DVD is gone. So it's a movie that I tell everybody about. If they haven't seen it, I let them borrow it, blah, blah, blah. Like, clearly it's going to be a one and done for somebody. But yeah, I'll say own it. So sure. I think that's 3 own it's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So go watch it.
All around.
And let us know on our socials whenever they appear.
So, Eric, what are we doing next week? Who is the actor you chose, and what movie did you choose, and why?
Sam Rockwell, of course. We are going on a journey with a guy to Galaxy Quest. And Sam Rockwell's character is...
Do I?
Oh, it's going to be great.
It should be a fun episode.
So Galaxy Quest is next.
Galaxy.
Damn right.
All right.
I'm going to blow your mind and butter your bread. I wish I had the disco thing, but all I can do to sex you up is...
Željko Ivanek.
You like that?
Željko Ivanek.
Not necessarily.
Anyway, thanks for listening. You want to give us a little outro?
Yeah, come back next time for more from 6 Degrees of Film.
Bada bing.
Film Degree.